First contact in the ruins. Dr. Sarah Chen picked her way through the crumbling ruins of what had once been downtown Seattle, her medical kit bouncing heavily against her hip. 3 years after the massive earthquake that had leveled much of the Pacific Northwest, parts of the city remained too unstable for reconstruction. Perfect for a former combat medic who preferred solitude to the pitying looks from those who'd heard about Afghanistan. The setting sun cast long shadows between the skeletal remains of office buildings as Sarah conducted her weekly check of the makeshift medical caches she maintained throughout the ruins. She'd served 4 tours as a combat medic before that last firefight cost her leg. Now she spent her days ensuring the homeless population that had taken shelter in the ruins had access to basic medical supplies. A flash of blue-green light from a collapsed storefront caught her attention. Sarah froze, her hand instinctively moving to the rifle slung across her back. That hadn't looked like emergency flares or scavenged lighting. The glow pulsed again, accompanied by a sound that made her synthetic leg's sensors crackle with interference. "Hello," she called out, unslinging her rifle but keeping it pointed down. "Anyone there who needs help?" A soft keening sound answered her, setting the hair on the back of her neck rising. It sounded almost like a child crying, but distorted, as if played through damaged speakers. Sarah's combat instincts screamed at her to retreat and call in backup. But she hadn't survived 3 tours by abandoning those who needed help. Clicking on her helmet-mounted light, Sarah carefully approached the storefront. The beam cut through dust-filled air, revealing a small figure huddled in the corner. Sarah's breath caught in her throat. It looked almost like a child, but its skin was translucent, showing swirling patterns of light beneath. Its large, multifaceted eyes reflected her light back at her like diamonds. "Oh my God," Sarah breathed. The alien child, there was no other word for it, flinched at her voice, trying to press itself further into the corner. Its movements were weak and uncoordinated. Sarah's medical training kicked in as she noticed the way its internal lights flickered erratically. "Hey there, little one," she said softly, slowly kneeling despite the protest from her prosthetic leg. "It's okay, I'm a doctor, I want to help." The alien child made another keening sound, but didn't try to retreat further as Sarah carefully set down her rifle and opened her medical kit. Her handheld scanner showed readings unlike anything she'd ever seen, but the pattern was clear enough. The creature was severely weakened, its vital signs erratic. "You're starving, aren't you?" Sarah murmured, noting how the alien's glow brightened slightly when she activated her scanner. "You feed on electromagnetic energy." As if in response, the child reached a trembling hand toward her scanner. Sarah didn't hesitate, pulling out her backup battery packs and emergency radio. The alien's glow strengthened noticeably as it absorbed the energy. The distant sound of helicopters made them both freeze. Sarah's heart began to race as she recognized the distinctive thrum of military aircraft. She'd been in the service long enough to know how this would play out if they found an alien life form, especially one as vulnerable as this child. "Okay, change of plans," she said, quickly packing up her gear. "We need to move. I've got a shelter nearby with solar panels and backup generators. Would that help you?" The alien child tilted its head, studying her with those crystalline eyes. Then, slowly, it reached out one delicate hand toward her. Sarah Gentle gathered the surprisingly light form into her arms, noting how its glow synchronized with her prosthetic leg's power core. "I've got you, little one," she whispered, already plotting the safest route through the ruins. "I won't let them hurt you." Their healing bond. Sarah's hidden shelter sat deep within the ruins, camouflaged inside what remained of an old bank vault. 3 years of scavenging had transformed it into a surprisingly well-equipped medical station, complete with jury-rigged solar arrays and enough backup batteries to power a small clinic. Now those same power sources were helping keep her unexpected guest alive. The alien child, whom she'd started calling Nova due to its starlight-like glow, sat surrounded by humming equipment. Its translucent skin had brightened considerably over the past few hours, the swirling patterns beneath now flowing smoothly instead of flickering erratically. Sarah monitored the readings on her tablet, fascinated by how Nova's body absorbed and processed electromagnetic energy. "Your cellular structure is incredible," she murmured, making notes. "You're literally converting electricity into biological energy." Nova tilted its head at her voice, multifaceted eyes reflecting the dim light like scattered stars. Though they couldn't communicate directly, Sarah had noticed the child responding to her tone and body language. A series of soft chimes emanated from Nova, accompanied by rippling patterns of light beneath its skin. Sarah smiled, recognizing what she'd come to think of as the child's happy sounds. Her prosthetic leg's sensors picked up complex electromagnetic patterns in the chimes, not random noise, but structured communication she couldn't yet decode. "I wish I could understand you better," Sarah said, adjusting one of the power feeds. "Where did you come from? Where's your family?" Nova's lights dimmed slightly, the chimes taking on a mournful tone that needed no translation. Sarah's heart ached. She knew all too well what it meant to be alone. The peaceful moment shattered as Sarah's perimeter alerts lit up. Someone was moving through the ruins, heading their way. She quickly checked the camera feeds she'd hidden throughout the area, cursing under her breath. 3 figures in tactical gear, moving with military precision. "We've got company," she told Nova, already moving to power down non-essential equipment. The alien child pressed closer to her, sensing her tension. "Don't worry, I've got a few tricks up my sleeve. 4 tours in combat zones teaches you a thing or two about staying hidden." Sarah had spent months preparing for the possibility of discovery. Multiple escape routes, emergency supplies cached throughout the ruins, and enough electronic countermeasures to confuse any standard tracking equipment. But she'd planned for dealing with scavengers or local authorities, not what appeared to be special forces. Nova's chimes took on an urgent tone as the approaching figures drew closer. Sarah watched them sweep the area with professional efficiency, their gear far too advanced for standard military. Some kind of black ops unit. Her artificial legs sensors picked up sophisticated scanning equipment. "They're looking for you," she realized, noting how their devices seemed calibrated for unusual energy signatures. "This isn't a random patrol." Nova's lights pulsed in what seemed like agreement, fear evident in its body language. Sarah's mind raced. The shelter's shielding would hide them for now, but it was only a matter of time before the search pattern brought the team close enough to detect something. They needed a distraction and an escape route. Moving quickly, she gathered essential supplies into her medical pack while activating a series of pre-programmed protocols on her systems. "Okay, little one, here's the plan. When I give the signal, I'm going to trigger every piece of electronic equipment I've hidden in the ruins. The energy surge should overwhelm their sensors and give us a chance to slip away." Nova watched her intently, seeming to understand the gravity of the situation. The alien child's glow had strengthened enough that Sarah hoped it could survive a few hours away from direct power sources. They'd need to find somewhere else to hide, somewhere with enough electricity to sustain Nova while they figured out a long-term solution. Sarah checked her weapon and spare magazines, a habit from her combat days she'd never quite shaken. The weight of her rifle was reassuring, though she hoped she wouldn't need it. Her prosthetic leg had been upgraded far beyond standard medical models, another preparation for worst-case scenarios that was about to prove its worth. "Almost time," she whispered, watching the search team's methodical advance. "When we move, stay close to me. My leg's power core should help sustain you until we reach safety." Nova pressed against her side, its chimes quiet but determined. Sarah took a deep breath, centered herself, and activated the distraction sequence. Dozens of hidden devices suddenly powered up throughout the ruins, creating a cascade of electromagnetic noise. On her monitors, she watched the search team react with professional urgency, their sensors obviously overwhelmed. "Now!" Sarah scooped Nova into her arms and slipped through a concealed exit, her enhanced leg allowing her to move swiftly despite the extra burden. Behind them, confused shouts echoed through the ruins as the search team tried to make sense of the chaos. They emerged into the gathering dusk, Sarah's intimate knowledge of the ruins guiding them through shadows and secret passages. Nova's lights dimmed to barely a glimmer, instinctively helping them stay hidden. The child's trust in her made Sarah's protective instincts surge. She'd seen too much death, lost too many people under her care. This time would be different. "I know somewhere we might be safe," she told Nova as they put distance between themselves and their pursuers. "An old friend from my unit runs a hidden clinic in the outskirts. She has generators, supplies, and most importantly, she knows how to keep secrets." Nova's quiet chimes held a note of hope. Sarah smiled grimly, her combat-trained senses alert for any sign of pursuit. She didn't know why this child had ended up in her ruins, or who exactly was hunting it. But she knew with absolute certainty that she would protect this remarkable being with everything she had. As night fell over the broken city, Sarah Chen, former combat medic, decorated veteran, and now protector of an alien child, disappeared into the shadows with her precious charge. The real challenge was just beginning. Sanctuary's price. The old underground transit tunnel stretched endlessly into darkness, its walls slick with decades of neglected moisture. Sarah moved carefully, her prosthetic legs built-in lights providing just enough illumination to navigate. Nova floated beside her, the alien child's dim glow creating ethereal shadows that danced along the curved ceiling. "Almost there," Sarah whispered, checking the hand-drawn map her friend Maria had given her years ago. The hidden clinic lay ahead, nestled in an abandoned maintenance station that the city had forgotten existed. "Maria's going to love you. She's always had a soft spot for unusual cases." Nova's responding chimes echoed softly through the tunnel, accompanied by curious patterns of light that rippled beneath its translucent skin. The alien child had grown stronger during their journey, able to hover short distances while drawing energy from Sarah's enhanced prosthetic. Each new discovery about Nova's capabilities left Sarah more amazed and more determined to protect it. The tunnel ahead opened into a larger chamber. Sarah immediately tensed, her combat instincts screaming danger. The space should have been dark, but faint light leaked around the edges of the heavy maintenance doors. Maria never left lights on in the outer chamber. "Stay behind me," she told Nova, unslinging her rifle with practiced ease. The alien child pressed close to her back, its glow dimming to almost nothing. Sarah approached the doors cautiously, hearing muffled voices from within. "Want this handled quietly?" A familiar voice reached her through the metal. Sarah's blood ran cold. Colonel Richards, her former commanding officer. The man who'd led the unit she'd served with in Afghanistan. The asset must be secured without drawing attention. Conventional forces have already failed to contain it. "You're asking us to hunt a child," Maria's voice replied, tight with tension. "An injured, frightened child. That child represents technology beyond anything humanity has achieved," Richards countered. "Its very existence proves we're not alone in the universe. The potential military applications are not worth betraying everything I believe in." Maria cut him off. "I'm a doctor, not your personal bounty hunter." Sarah's mind raced. Maria was clearly refusing to help them, but for how long? Richards wasn't known for taking no for an answer. She glanced back at Nova, seeing fear, but also trust in those crystalline eyes. They needed another plan. A soft click from her prosthetic leg drew her attention. The power indicators were fluctuating wildly, responding to some kind of energy field. Nova's lights pulsed in sync with the disturbance. Sarah's eyes widened as she realized what it meant. There was serious power running through this chamber, far more than Maria's clinic usually used. "They set up containment equipment," she breathed. "They're not just looking for you, they're prepared to cage you." Nova's chimes took on a frightened tone, but Sarah's mind was already spinning with possibilities. All that power could be exactly what they needed if they were clever about using it. She quickly pulled equipment from her pack, reading a makeshift electromagnetic pulse device. 4 tours in combat zones had taught her more than just medical skills. Okay, little one, here's the plan. When I trigger this, it's going to overload their systems. In the chaos, we're going to get Maria out and find another way. Nova's lights brightened slightly in acknowledgement. Sarah took a deep breath, checking her weapon one final time. Ready? 3, 2, 1. The EMP burst sent cascading failures through the chamber's power systems. Sparks flew from junction boxes as breakers blew. Sarah kicked the doors open, moving with combat-trained precision through the sudden darkness. Nova followed, its glow providing just enough light to see. Maria, Sarah called out, spotting her friend handcuffed to a support pillar. Time to go. Chen. Maria's eyes widened in shock. What are you? Her words cut off as she spotted Nova. Oh my God. Explanations later, Sarah said, making quick work of the handcuffs with a lockpick. Right now we need to move. Secure the asset. Richard's voice boomed through the darkness. Flashlight beams cut through the shadows as armed figures moved to surround them. Sarah's combat instincts took over as she pushed Maria behind an equipment bank. But before anyone could open fire, Nova did something extraordinary. The alien child's glow intensified dramatically, drawing in the ambient electricity from the damaged systems. The light built to blinding levels, forcing everyone to shield their eyes. When it faded, the armed figures lay unconscious on the floor. They're alive, Sarah confirmed quickly, checking pulses. Just stunned somehow. She looked at Nova with newfound wonder. The alien child seemed weakened by the display but unharmed. That was impossible, Maria breathed. The energy readings alone should have. Questions later, Sarah interrupted, already gathering essential supplies from the clinic. Richards will have backup coming. We need to disappear before they arrive. I know somewhere, Maria said, quickly grabbing her own emergency pack. An old research facility in the mountains. It's off the grid, completely hidden, and it has its own power supply. Sarah nodded grimly. Lead the way. She gathered Nova into her arms, feeling the alien child's exhaustion. Hold on, little one. We'll get you somewhere safe to recover. As they fled through hidden maintenance tunnels, Sarah's mind churned with implications. Nova's display of power explained why people like Richards wanted it so badly. But it also proved something else. This child was far more than a simple refugee. The question was, what would it mean for all of them once the truth came out? Hidden truths. The abandoned research facility crouched amid snow-covered peaks like a sleeping giant. Maria guided them through overgrown security fences, past defunct camera systems, to a reinforced door partially hidden by vegetation. Despite the facility's outward appearance of abandonment, Sarah noticed subtle signs of maintenance: cleared ventilation shafts, recently oiled hinges, new security keypads. Welcome to Project Sanctuary, Maria said, entering a complex code. After leaving the military, I wasn't the only one who wanted to help people off the books. The door opened with a hydraulic hiss, revealing a state-of-the-art facility hidden within the decaying exterior. Nova stirred in Sarah's arms, its glow brightening in response to the abundant electrical systems. After the energy expenditure at the clinic, the alien child had been dangerously weak. Now its internal lights began pulsing with renewed strength. The whole facility runs on geothermal power, Maria explained, leading them through pristine corridors. Completely self-sufficient and untraceable, we've helped dozens of people disappear from those who would harm them. Though she glanced at Nova with a mix of wonder and concern, this is our first extraterrestrial guest. They entered a large medical bay filled with advanced equipment. Sarah's eyes widened as she recognized technology that shouldn't exist outside of military black sites. Maria, what exactly is this place? Before her friend could answer, a tall figure stepped from an adjoining room. A sanctuary for those who know too much, said Dr. James Harrison, the supposedly dead former head of military xenobiology research, and a repository for truths too dangerous for the world to know. Sarah instinctively pulled Nova closer, but the alien child made an unexpected sound, not fear, but recognition. Its lights formed complex patterns that made Sarah's prosthetic leg tingle with electromagnetic feedback. "As I suspected," Harrison said softly. "You're not the first of your kind to find Earth, are you, little one?" He turned to Sarah and Maria. 3 years ago, my team discovered evidence of advanced alien civilizations monitoring humanity. When I refused to weaponize that knowledge, certain elements within the military tried to silence us. That's when Maria found me, helped me disappear. We've been gathering others since then, Maria added. Scientists, doctors, soldiers, anyone who discovered pieces of the truth and chose humanity over power, creating a network to protect both human and extraterrestrial refugees. Sarah's mind reeled as pieces clicked into place. The earthquake that destroyed Seattle, that wasn't natural, was it? Harrison shook his head. A crashed ship, hidden by manufactured disaster. But something else came down that day, something that scared the people I once worked for more than any weapon. He looked at Nova with understanding. A child. One carrying genetic memory of technologies that could change everything. Nova's times took on a mournful tone. Its lights formed images in the air, a vast ship breaking apart, desperate evacuations, a small pod launching toward Earth as larger vessels burned in orbit. A refugee from a war we never knew was happening, Harrison translated. One of the few survivors of a civilization that tried to protect us from something worse. He paused, choosing his words carefully. There are forces out there that see emerging civilizations like humanity as resources to be harvested. Nova's people were our unseen guardians. Sarah felt Nova tremble. The alien child pressed closer, seeking comfort. That's why Richards wants you so badly, she realized. Not just for your technology, but because you're proof of everything they've tried to hide. And why we must protect Nova at all costs, Harrison agreed. Not just for the child's sake, but for all of humanity. The knowledge it carries could help us prepare for what's coming. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the facility. Maria rushed to a security console, her face paling. Multiple vehicles approaching, military grade. They're not even trying to hide their approach. Richards, Sarah growled. He must have tracked us somehow. She looked down at her prosthetic leg, remembering how it interfaced with Nova's energy field. Through me, my leg's power core, they could follow its unique signature. Then we use that to our advantage, Harrison said decisively. This facility has defenses even Richards doesn't know about, but we'll need Nova's help to power them fully. He turned to the alien child. Will you trust us? Nova's lights pulsed with determination. It moved to the center of the medical bay, beginning to glow with increasing intensity. Sarah's prosthetic leg hummed with growing power as the facility's systems responded to Nova's energy signature. Sarah, Maria, get to the defense control room, Harrison ordered. I'll coordinate from here with Nova. Richards thinks he's hunting a helpless child. Let's show him exactly what humanity and our alien allies can do together. As Sarah rushed to her position, she felt a fierce pride. She'd sworn to protect Nova, but the alien child was proving to be far more than a refugee in need of help. Together, they were about to make a stand that would change everything. The mountain facility thrummed with power as Nova's energy merged with its systems. Outside, Richards and his forces approached, unaware they were about to face the combined strength of humanity's best and their hidden protectors. The real battle for Earth's future was about to begin. The stand. The facility's defense control room hummed with concentrated energy as Nova's power flowed through every system. Sarah's fingers flew across holographic controls, her combat experience merging with the alien technology Nova had helped activate. Through the reinforced windows, she could see Richard's forces establishing positions around the facility, at least 50 heavily armed operatives backed by what looked like experimental weapons platforms. They're deploying energy-dampening fields, Maria reported from her station, monitoring sensor readouts. standard containment protocols for extraterrestrial entities. Sarah smiled grimly. They have no idea what they're really dealing with. Her prosthetic leg tingled as Nova's consciousness brushed against her mind through their unique connection. The alien child was no longer just communicating through lights and sounds. They were becoming something more, a hybrid of human determination and alien technology. Multiple breach attempts detected. Harrison's voice came through the comms system. They're trying to overwhelm our defenses with sheer numbers. In the medical bay below, Nova's glow had become almost blinding, the alien child floating in a sphere of pure energy as it interfaced with the facility's systems. Sarah watched the tactical displays with growing concern. Richards wasn't just trying to capture Nova anymore. He was ready to bring down the entire mountain to get what he wanted. The bastard had always been willing to sacrifice anything and anyone for what he considered the greater good. "Nova," she called through their connection, "show me what you see." The world shifted around her as Nova shared its perception. Sarah gasped as layers of reality became visible, electromagnetic fields, quantum fluctuations, and patterns of energy she had no words for. Through Nova's eyes, she could see the true nature of Richard's weapons, crude attempts to replicate technology far beyond human understanding. They're scared, Sarah realized, watching the erratic energy patterns of the attacking forces. They know just enough about what's out there to be terrified, but not enough to understand. "Fear makes them dangerous," Harrison warned. Richards believes controlling Nova's knowledge is humanity's only chance for survival. He'll destroy everything to prevent what he sees as an alien infiltration. Her massive explosion rocked the facility. Maria swore as new alerts flooded her screens. They've breached the outer defenses, multiple strike teams entering through the lower levels. Sarah felt Nova's determination surge through their link. The alien child had not fled its dying world, watched its guardians fall, and crossed galaxies just to be captured by those who would repeat the same mistakes. Together, they could show humanity a better way. "Harrison, Maria, initiate Protocol Omega," Sarah commanded, her voice steady with purpose. "Nova and I will handle the rest." "Sarah, that's not tested," Maria protested. The neural load cooled. "Trust us," Sarah cut her off, already moving toward the medical bay. Through their connection, she felt Nova's agreement. They had prepared for this moment without even knowing it. The facility's internal defenses activated, herding Richard's forces toward the central chamber. Sarah entered just as the first strike team breached the doors. Nova's sphere of energy pulsed with welcome as she approached. "Stand down, Chen." Richards himself led the team, his familiar voice harsh through his tactical mask. "That thing has compromised you. We're trying to save humanity." "No," Sarah replied calmly, stepping into Nova's energy field. "You're trying to control what you don't understand." The alien child's power flowed through her, transforming her prosthetic leg into something new, a hybrid of human and alien technology. "This is what salvation looks like," she continued as more soldiers filed in, weapons trained on them. "Not conquest or control, but cooperation. Nova's people didn't come to conquer us. They came to prepare us." "Prepare us for what?" Richards demanded, but there was uncertainty in his voice as he watched Sarah and Nova's energies merge. "The same choice every emerging civilization faces," Sarah answered, Nova's knowledge flowing through her mind. "Continue fighting among ourselves, destroying everything in our quest for dominance, or learn to reach for the stars together." Through their shared perception, Sarah and Nova could see the soldiers' auras flickering with doubt. Even Richard's determined energy signature showed cracks of uncertainty. The moment balanced on a knife's edge. Then Nova shared one final vision, not of war or destruction, but of a future where humanity had joined a vast coalition of civilizations, exploring wonders beyond imagination. Sarah projected the images outward, letting everyone in the chamber see what was possible. "My God," Richards breathed, lowering his weapon. Around him, other soldiers did the same, transfixed by the vision of humanity's potential. The choice was never about whether to fight or submit, Sarah explained, Nova's wisdom guiding her words. It was about whether we could grow beyond our fears to embrace something greater. The energy field expanded, encompassing the entire chamber. Where there had been tension and fear, understanding began to bloom. Nova's people had not sent a weapon or a tool to Earth. They had sent a teacher, in the form of a child who could bridge the gap between civilizations. As the light faded, Sarah felt the change in the room. Richard's forces were lowering their weapons, their faces showing the same wonder she had felt on first meeting Nova. The alien child's glow had returned to normal, but the connection they had forged would remain. There will be others out there who won't understand, Harrison said softly, entering the chamber. Who will still try to control rather than cooperate? Sarah nodded, feeling Nova's agreement through their link. Then we'll be ready to show them a better way. Together. The mountain facility had become more than a sanctuary. It was now a beacon for a new kind of future. One where humanity's greatest strength would not be its weapons or walls, but its ability to reach across the stars and forge bonds of understanding. The real work was just beginning. New dawn. 6 months after the standoff at the mountain facility, Sarah stood at the window of the newly established Interstellar Cooperation Initiative headquarters, watching the sunrise paint the restored Seattle skyline in shades of gold. Her prosthetic leg, now a seamless fusion of human and alien technology, hummed softly in harmony with the building's advanced systems. Nova floated beside her, no longer the frightened refugee she'd found in the ruins. The alien child had grown stronger, its translucent skin now rippling with confident patterns of light as it helped guide humanity's first steps into a larger universe. Hard to believe how much has changed, Maria said, joining them at the window. The former underground doctor now headed the initiative's medical division, working to combine Earth medicine with the healing technologies Nova had shared. Remember when our biggest concern was hiding from Richards? As if summoned by his name, Colonel Richards himself entered the room. The man who had once led the charge to capture Nova now served as chief of security for the initiative, his military experience redirected toward protecting the delicate first steps of human-alien cooperation. Speaking of changes, he said, nodding respectfully to Nova, we've confirmed 3 more arrivals. Ships matching the energy signatures Nova showed us, entering orbit under cloak. Sarah felt Nova's excitement through their neural link. More of the alien child's people had survived than originally feared, drawn to Earth by Nova's signal of successful contact. Each arrival brought new knowledge, new technologies, and new opportunities for collaboration. The UN Security Council is still nervous, Harrison added, entering with a stack of reports. The former black site scientist had become the initiative's lead researcher, helping translate alien concepts into terms humanity could understand and implement safely. Some nations are pushing for more military oversight. Nova's lights formed complex patterns in the air, a language they'd all learned to read over the months. Sarah smiled at the child's response. Nova says that's natural. Fear of the unknown is universal. Even their civilization went through similar struggles when they first joined the galactic community. The difference is we have help this time, Maria pointed out, thanks to a brave kid who trusted us enough to show another way. Sarah felt Nova's gratitude through their connection. The alien child had given humanity an incredible gift, not just advanced technology, but a chance to avoid the mistakes that had led to so much conflict among the stars. The facility's alert system chimed softly. First contact team to briefing room 3, a calm voice announced. Incoming transmission from orbital visitors. That's us, Sarah said, straightening her uniform. The insignia of the initiative caught the morning light, a stylized image of human and alien hands clasped in friendship, Nova's own design. As they walked to the briefing room, Sarah reflected on their journey. The frightened alien child and wounded combat medic had both found healing in their unlikely partnership. Together, They had shown that humanity's greatest strength wasn't in its weapons or walls, but in its capacity for compassion, understanding, and growth. The briefing room hummed with energy as Nova interfaced with the communication systems. Above the conference table, a holographic display sparkled to life, showing the approaching ships. Sarah felt Nova's joy at sensing its own kind, tempered by the wisdom the young alien had gained during its time on Earth. "Ready to make history again?" she asked softly. Nova's answering chimes were confident and clear. Through their neural link, Sarah felt the alien child's unwavering belief in humanity's potential. They had faced fear, overcome prejudice, and built something extraordinary together. "Signal coming through," Harrison announced as the holographic display shifted. "First direct communication with the arriving fleet." Sarah squared her shoulders, Nova floating proudly beside her. Around the table, humans who had once been enemies now stood united in common purpose. Richards, Maria, Harrison, each had learned to see beyond their fears to embrace a greater destiny. As the transmission began, Sarah felt Nova's consciousness brush against hers, sharing a vision of the future. She saw humanity spreading to the stars not as conquerors or refugees, but as partners in a grand collaboration of species. She saw Earth becoming a beacon of hope, proving that even the most fearful hearts could learn to trust, to grow, to reach across the void and find friendship. The alien ships descended through Earth's atmosphere, their arrival heralding the dawn of a new era. But for Sarah, the most important change had already happened, in the moment she'd chosen to help a frightened child, human or not. That simple act of compassion had set in motion events that would transform not just Earth, but the very future of human potential. Nova's lights pulsed with anticipation as the transmission cleared. Sarah smiled, ready to help forge the next chapter in humanity's journey to the stars. Together, they had proven that the strongest bonds in the universe weren't built on power or fear, but on trust, compassion, and the courage to see beyond differences to the heart that beats in all living things. Legacy of Light, Epilogue. 10 years after first contact, Earth had bloomed into something extraordinary. Sarah stood on the observation deck of Harmony Station, the first joint human-alien space platform orbiting high above the planet. Her enhanced prosthetic leg, now a marvel of hybrid technology, adjusted seamlessly to the station's artificial gravity. Nova, no longer a child, but a young adult, hovered beside her. The once frightened refugee had grown into an elegant being, its translucent skin now displaying complex patterns that shifted like auroras. Through their neural link, Sarah felt Nova's contentment as they watched shuttles moving between Earth and the various alien vessels now openly visiting the planet. "Remember when we were hiding in ruins?" Sarah mused, touching the window. Below, the lights of cities sparkled across Earth's surface, but they were different now. Softer, cleaner, powered by technologies that had transformed humanity's relationship with their world. Nova's response came not just in lights and chimes, but in rich emotional resonance through their connection. The alien shared memories of those early days, fear and desperation giving way to hope, trust replacing suspicion, understanding blooming where there had once been only ignorance. Ambassador Chen, a young cadet approached, standing respectfully at attention. "The Integration Council is ready for your presentation." Sarah nodded, smoothing her diplomatic uniform. The insignia she wore now represented not just Earth, but the coalition of allied worlds, an organization that might never have existed if a combat medic hadn't chosen compassion over fear on that fateful day. The council chamber represented everything they'd achieved. Humans sat alongside representatives from a dozen alien species, all working together to guide the next phase of Earth's development. Richards, now silver-haired, but still sharp, headed Earth's security contingent. Maria led a revolutionary medical exchange program, while Harrison's research team had just unlocked another piece of the universe's mysteries. "Today marks a decade since Earth joined the galactic community," Sarah began, Nova floating proudly beside her. But our real journey began in ruins, with a choice between fear and understanding. Through their link, Nova helped her project images into the chamber, not just memories, but the countless moments of triumph and challenge that had followed. The first joint human-alien medical procedures, the cleanup of Earth's oceans using borrowed technology, the day humans helped prevent a disaster on a distant alien world, proving they could give as well as receive. We were not the first civilization to face its crossroads, Sarah continued, feeling Nova's agreement. The choice between isolation and connection, between treating difference as a threat or an opportunity for growth. But thanks to a remarkable child who trusted us enough to show another way, we chose a better path. The chamber hummed with energy as Nova added its own perspective, sharing the view of a species that had watched humanity grow from fearful isolation into confident partnership. The aliens' pride in their achievements radiated through the neural network that now connected many of Earth's leaders with their alien counterparts. Our legacy isn't measured in technology or territory, Sarah said, her voice carrying the wisdom of their shared experience. It's in the bonds we've forged, the understanding we've built, the proof that compassion is not a weakness, but the greatest strength any species can possess. As she spoke, alerts lit up across the chamber. Long-range sensors had detected something new, another civilization reaching the crucial moment of first contact, facing the same fears and choices that had once confronted humanity. They will need guidance, Nova communicated, its patterns shifting thoughtfully, as I once did. Sarah smiled, understanding immediately. Then we'll help them together. Show them what's possible when fear gives way to friendship. The council quickly assembled a first contact team, looking at the diverse group of humans and aliens working in seamless cooperation. Sarah felt the weight of how far they'd come. The frightened combat medic and starving alien child had started something far greater than themselves. As Harmony Station orbited above a transformed Earth, Sarah and Nova prepared to help another world take its first steps into a larger universe. Their story had become legend, taught to children of all species as proof that the strongest force in the universe was not power or technology, but the simple choice to help those in need. Ready for another adventure? Sarah asked, though she already felt Nova's enthusiasm through their link. Nova's answering glow lit the chamber like a new dawn. Together, they had not just changed their own worlds, they had created a legacy of light that would guide civilizations for generations to come. The stars beckoned, full of new stories waiting to be written, and thanks to a moment of compassion in the ruins of an old world, humanity would help right them not with weapons or walls, but with open hands and understanding hearts. As Harmony Station prepared to receive its newest guests, Sarah and Nova stood ready to prove once again that the greatest journeys begin not with a show of force, but with a simple act of kindness.